Where is that texture now? You see that our model does use quite a few textures. I think it's this one here. Again, I'm going to view image just to make sure. Yeah, this is a color corrected one. So what we're going to do is we're going to select our original. I'm going to turn edge spaces off. Select the original column here. And we're going to assign this color corrected texture to it. It's done something funky at the top here. I'm just not sure what. I'm just going to undo that for a moment. Let's select that texture. The column is actually using 3 separate textures. We've replaced this one here with the geometry that we just created, that square box. This texture is the one that's being used in the main part of the column here, and I have a feeling this texture here is the one that's being used for the top part of the column. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into sub-object mode and I'm going to remove that top piece. I always do this. I don't want to move my viewport in my front view. I want to go into orthographic. Alright, I'm going to detach that. I don't want to detach as a clone though. Let's open up our editor again. Select that top piece and I'm going to try assigning this texture to it. Looks like the original there. Alright. We just have to find that corrected piece that we're using, which I think is one of these ones. Let's try this texture. Okay. Select the original column and assign the color corrected version to it. Because remember, the original here was more of a honey wood, and I'm changing the texture for the new version of that model to a cherry wood, which is more red. Okay, let's just swing around here again. The only reason I detached the model before I changed the texture was so that I could get two different textures to 2 different parts of the model. We're going to be reattaching it shortly. Let's select the frame we just created. And we're going to assign this texture to it. And we need to do a little bit of UV mapping now though. So let's throw down an unwrap UVW and open up our material editor. Let's turn on our texture so we can see it in the background here. I always like to go into face mode when I'm working with my UVs. Actually, I'm going to go into vertex mode here because I want to do some adjustments. What I'm going to start by doing is I'm going to move this row and make sure I turn off the whole object here, otherwise it'll select everything. I don't want that. Select that row there. Use my move tool, hold down the shift key because that'll constrain it for you, make it easier to move. I'm going to pull that out until it hits the edge around about there. I'm going to do the same here for this edge. We'll drag it out holding down the shift key. Now this top piece here is going to be a little bit more tricky because we have a few that we have to move. So we're going to start by moving these edges up a bit. We'll grab this top edge here and again holding down the shift key and shift dragging up. And we'll do the same here with the bottom piece. So shift drag down. Okay. I'm going to turn off. I don't like this green line that Max puts for your seams. I'm just going to switch that off here so that it doesn't get in the way. I'm going to rotate my column piece around and have a look at the texture on the side here. Let's go into face mode. And let's select the faces here on the side. They're not bad, you can probably get away with it, but we may just fix them up a bit, I think. And what we're going to do here is we're going to go into our tools menu and break our UVs so that we can move them. Go into my scale. I'm going to scale them again, holding down the shift key just in one direction like that. Again, holding down the shift key, I'm going to drag them down a bit smaller. And the shift key, I'm going to move them over to the edge here. Now again, I don't recommend you overlap your UVs like this if you're going to be 3D painting. But because we're not going to be taking this into a 3D paint program, well, we can overlap them without a problem. Just going to deselect that and check that edge. And that should be fine. Let's zoom around to the opposite side here and do this one. So that piece, and the one at the very bottom. Tools and break. Scale tool, scale it in one direction only, so it's short, making it smaller. Scale it down a bit. Scale it out just a little bit. And hold down my shift key and move it over to this edge. Alright. I think that's probably all. Oh, we better check the inside edges as well, I think. So I'm just going to reopen my UV editor. Again, I'm in face mode. I'm going to select the inside faces here. Yeah. We're going to do the same thing again. We're just going to break them and non-uniformly scale them in. And we scale them down a little bit and move them over to the edge. I may actually move them, overlay them over here on the edge in the corner here. Yeah, that gives us a better match in colour. And it helps to pick up that, it's hard to see because it's quite a low bitmap texture here, but there's a decorative woodwork here on the side. It just helps to blend all of that together. Hey Sniper Echo, how's things? Good to see you. Let's select these inside edges here and we'll do the same thing. All you guys getting ready for the Easter break? I'm actually, I'm just going to break this up. I'm going out of town for the Easter break, so after today, I'm actually going out tomorrow, leaving town tomorrow until, and I won't be back until Tuesday next week. So there will be no stream tomorrow and no stream on Monday next week from me. My regular schedule will be back on Tuesday next week after today. I just want to take a bit of a break and get out of town for Easter. So that's what I'm doing. I'm not doing any family time or anything like that. I'm just taking a break. Because I've had a lot of work on at the studio and I've been working weekends for the last 3 or 4 weeks, so I need a break. So I'm going to go out to some nice little cabin in the woods and with no internet, no phone, no TV. I'm just going to chill. Have one of those non-technological holidays where you don't touch technology at all. Alright, let's do the top and the bottom now. So yeah, after today guys, I won't be on tomorrow or Monday next week. I'll be back on Tuesday next week. just to let you guys know what's going on. The top there is probably okay. Yeah, yeah. I just need this break because, like I said, I've been working weekends for the last month, so I've been pretty much working 7 days a week for the last month, doing stuff at the studio, and I need to take a bit of a break, particularly when you're doing work on a PC or creative work. If you can burn out if you don't pace yourself a bit. And then sometimes there is no choice because there are deadlines that have to be met, and that's why I've had to work the way I have. But it's important as a creative person or someone working with technology and software that you take a bit of a break. Give your mind a chance to chill out and relax for a bit. It's good for you. Even though I love what I do, I love 3D, and that hasn't changed and never will. It's important just to take a break occasionally. Otherwise you'll end up burning out. And that's a problem I found when I was working in games development, because the hours were so long and the pressure was so great and the deadlines were constant that you end up burning out. And I'm not trying to dissuade you guys from getting into games. I know you guys love games. I love games too. It's just, yeah, the hours and the workload and the deadlines were murder. And I actually took 6 months off. When I finished the last game studio I worked for, we did a game that took 2 years of development. And after that 2 years I was completely burnt out, so I had to take 6 months off where I did nothing. I mean, I did nothing. I did no 3D work. All I did was sleep and eat, and maybe watch TV. That was it. But I needed to do that because it was getting too much for me. I was burnt out. That was a while ago now, fine now. But it's important. It's important to take a break. That's all I'm saying. That's just the nature of the job sometimes. But it's cool. I mean, I'm fine. My health didn't really suffer as such. I didn't get a lot of sleep when I was working for the game studio, but hey. And that 6 month break really recharged me so I could get back into doing my work again, which was ages ago now, guys. Don't think that this was like, last year. This was 5 years ago or so, so I'm completely fine now. You do find doing creative work, you can get burnt out. That's all I'm saying. If you push yourself too hard for too long. So yeah, just be aware of that, guys. Don't try and push yourselves too hard. I know, particularly with guys that stream on Twitch, a lot of you guys will stream for 12 hours a day. That's cool. More power to you. I can't do that. That's just too much for me. It's too long. I just can't do it. But like I said, more power to you if you can. But do remember, guys, to take breaks and to eat properly, because otherwise it's going to affect your health. Let's break this bottom section off. But I'm looking forward to the break. It'll be nice just to have a break for that week over Easter. I'm going to flatten map this bottom section, I think. We're going to rotate it 90 degrees and scale it in. Scale it up. And we're probably going to move it up into the middle here. And that should work. Well, actually, let's move it over to... I don't want to do that. Let's move it over to the edge, I think. Maybe in here. Just to give me a better match between the colours here. And we should be done with the UV mapping of that wooden piece here. This little frame that we're putting around it just to simulate the a bit more geometry, a bit more detail on this column. Now that we've done that, let's look at the top part of the column. And let's just create a little bit more geometry up here. So I'm going to jump back into my box mode here and create a small box for that side there. Again, we're going to jump into our top viewport and pull it forward. And move it into position here. jump into my modify tab, and I'm going to increase the height a bit on this, I think. Back into my orthographic, and I'm going to pull it in. Actually want it to be a bit higher still. Maybe something like that. Alright, let's throw down an edit poly and go into edge mode. And let's just select these 4 edges here on the outside. I'm not selecting these side edges though, just the ones on the front. And again we're going to throw chamfer down and soften up the edges a bit. Don't do that. I'm just going to delete that chamfer because I don't think I got all of my edges here. I'm going to go into edge mode so I can see what I'm doing. 3D Studio, there's a new version of Max coming out. It's due to come out any day now. I'm going to remove this edit poly. I don't need that many polygons here, so I'm going to jump back into my box mode and I'm going to turn it back down to 1 segment on each piece. Back to edit poly now. Yeah, there's a new version of Max coming out for anyone interested. 2018. It's due to be released tomorrow, I think. Autodesk have not told us anything about it. They're not saying what new features are going to be in it or anything like that, which is always a bit of a worry. You never know with Autodesk what they're going to do with their software. I'll be quite annoyed if they don't update it. I'll be annoyed if it still crashes like Max 2017 does. This is why I have to use Max 2016 on Windows 10, because Max 2017 crashes on me. I can't run it. Hopefully 2018 they will have fixed that. We'll find out soon enough. And there are a lot of unhappy people on the Autodesk subscription side with it as well, because you're paying subscription for something that you can't use. And like I said to you guys months ago, Autodesk weren't going to fix it. They're not going to fix the crashing in 2017. They're just going to release a new version of the software, which is exactly what they've done. I'm not saying they didn't attempt to fix the problem. I'm sure they have. I tried. But I'm sure their intention all along was just to wait until 2018 was ready and push out the fix in that, as opposed to doing 2017. Fixes, yes, fixes. Autodesk fixes. Look, I love Max. I've used Max forever. It's my go-to 3D software, but it does have some problems. No 3D software is perfect, and Max does have a few bugs and things that need to be fixed. And Max 2017 is one of them. It's terrible. I've used 3D Studio Max since version 1. Since before, when it was in DOS days, guys, you know, we're talking a long time. And I have never had problems with a piece of software like Max 2017. All of them have had little bugs, and all of them have, you know, crashed here and there. But Max 2017, when they did a rewrite for that, I don't know what they've done, but it's terrible. For me, I mean, I'm sure some people are running it okay, but on my PC, I don't know. And in a lot of the guys in the studio that I work at as well, they have major problems with it. It's constantly crashing. And it crashes your entire computer. It doesn't just crash the program, it brings down your entire PC. The only way to fix it is to reset the computer. I mean, that's a really bad problem. You know, you could live with it just crashing the software so you could get back to your desktop. But it freezes the entire computer. You have to actually reset the PC to get it and reboot to get back into Windows again. And that's a serious problem. So Autodesk, I don't know what changes they made. I have a feeling it was something to do with the update they did for high DPI displays, for 4K displays. They changed the Nitrous viewport in some way. Nitrous is the viewport that is Autodesk's name for their 3D viewport that Max uses. When they updated it for 4K displays, they've done something that's really broken it. So let's hope with 2018 that they fix that. We'll find out soon enough. I have perpetual licenses for my 3D Studio Max. When Autodesk recently went to a subscription model where you can subscribe, pay monthly or yearly to use Max, which is fine. I don't particularly like subscription models. Adobe do the same thing with their software. You end up paying for something you're never going to own, and I don't like that. I prefer to pay for it once and own it and use it for as long as I want. Because the minute you stop paying your subscription, you lose access to the software. I think that's bad. But that's the way the world seems to be going. So I have perpetual licenses for my Mac software, but I am also a subscription subscriber. I subscribe to Autodesk, and I do that because the studio does it that way. I wouldn't choose to ever do it that way, but the studio does. So I will have access to 2018 when it's released. There was a beta program people could use if they wanted to test it out up until release. But because I rely on Max for my work, I don't ever want to be involved in beta programs. So I will be installing Max 2018 when it is released officially, which is supposed to be tomorrow. And we will see if it crashes. Although I won't be using it till I get back from my Easter break anyway, until next week. So that and the creators update for Windows 10 has been being released. I haven't installed that yet either. I'm going to leave that until I get back as well, because every time Microsoft do a major update to their operating system, it ends up breaking something. I just don't want the aggravation until then. So we will be waiting. Well, I will be waiting. I'm going to actually assign a texture here that is not part of... What I should be doing is assigning this texture up here to this part of the model. But I'm going to see if I can get a more interesting model piece by using this texture, which is the one that is being used at the top. I'm going to assign... make sure I go out of edge mode here, otherwise Max won't let me assign anything. So I'm going to... Max 10 2018 test stream. You guys want to see whether Max is going to crash on me? Is that what you're saying? I generally try and make sure my streams run as smoothly as I can anyway. I don't like to have my software crashing on you guys while you're watching, because that's no fun for you. We could do a test stream of Max 2018 though, if you think it would be interesting. Watching me rage on stream when Max crashes on me constantly. I'm pretty mellow, pretty laid back. I try not to rage too much any time, but we'll see. I will install it next week, but I always keep Max 2016 installed regardless of the version, the latest version, because 2016 is used in most studios. Because they've had problems with 2017, they stick to 2016. So I'm always going to have 2016 installed, and that's what I'm using here, because it's pretty good. I don't have any problems with 2016. So that'll always be my go-to generally, unless Max 2018 is just as good, and then even then I'll keep 2016 installed, because I need to keep 2016 installed so I can save my models to Max 2013 format, which is what I use when I put my models on the Creative Market for sale. That way anyone that uses Max from version 2013 up can use them. If I stick to the latest version, then the save as dialog box, you can only go back 2 versions. So like if I was to do a save as here in Max, and I'm saving it as a Max file, I can save it all the way back from 2015, 2014, 2013, which is why I keep Max 2016 around. So I can go back to 2013 here. And that's why I'll always have 2016 installed, even if Max 2018 is wonderful. but I will install it because I do like to see what changes they've made to the software and what they've updated and what they've upgraded. I do know with Max 2018 that Autodesk are doing away with the Max file renderer. Just going to pull in my render dialog box here for you. You've got different renderers in Max. This is just in Scanline at the moment because we're not rendering this out. But it comes standard with Mental Ray by NVIDIA and iRay by NVIDIA. And Autodesk are going to be removing both of those from the new version of Max. They're not going to have Mental Ray anymore. They're replacing that with, what is it? Arnold, I think it is, the Arnold renderer, which I personally haven't used. It's supposed to be good. And I don't use Mental Ray anyway. I use V-Ray for my renders. So So yeah, the new version of Max, you won't have Mental Ray anymore. You will have, I'm pretty sure it's the Arnold renderer that they're replacing it with. So for you guys that do use Mental Ray in your workflow, and I know that there are a lot of ArchViz guys that do, they're not very happy about that. So, it's a huge change. Yeah, Sniper Echo says it's a big change. It is. And on the forums, the Autodesk forums, there are a lot of people really unhappy about it because, like I said, a lot of guys that use Max use it for ArchViz, and a lot of ArchViz guys use Mental Ray because it was built into the software. So they've developed workflows over the years that involve Mental Ray. And now Autodesk all of a sudden have announced that they're dropping Mental Ray. So a lot of people are really unhappy about that, and, saying I'm never going to subscribe to Autodesk again, I'm never going to use this, all that sort of thing, which people generally react that way when a major change happens. But there are people that use Arnold and they really like Arnold, so they're happy about that. And do remember, if you are a Max user and you're concerned that Mental Ray is being removed from the software, you can still download it from NVIDIA's website and install it into Max for free. I'm not sure of the restrictions that NVIDIA are placing on it though, whether you can't do batch rendering, like you can't do network rendering, I'm not sure. But then that's the other problem as well, because Mental Ray at the moment in Max, you can do network rendering on all PCs that you have in your office or in your home. With the new Arnold renderer that they're replacing it with, you can't do network rendering. You have to pay to do network rendering, which means you're going to have to spend about $2,000 to actually buy a license for the software to do network rendering. Hey Malik, how are you? Thanks for popping in and saying hello. We're just having a bit of a discussion about the new version of 3D Studio Max that's being released tomorrow and the changes they're making to the rendering engine. So yeah, if you're a Max user, they're going to be dropping Mental Ray. They're going to replace it, I'm pretty sure it's Arnold, it's the Arnold renderer. But the Arnold renderer, you won't be able to do network rendering for free, you'll have to buy a license to do that. So there you go, for all you Max guys. Like I said, it doesn't affect me because I use V-Ray, and I always have. I'm trying to work out why I can't assign the texture to the model, and it's because I'm using the bitmap and not the actual shader. Yeah, Sniper is saying it's a harsh change for some people. It certainly is. There are a lot of people really not happy about it. I'm going to pull back here so I can see what's going on. Yeah, there are a lot of people really unhappy about it. We're going to see if we can use this texture. We're not going to use it like that. We're going to play with our UVs a bit, I think. I'm just going to take a quick break, guys, just for 2 minutes while I grab a fresh cup of coffee. This one's gone cold. I'll be back in 2 minutes' time, and then we'll continue doing some modelling on this and bitching about Max. We'll continue doing this modelling. I'll be back in... oh, good to hear, Malik. I'll be back in just a couple of minutes, guys. I'll grab a fresh copy. So I'll leave you with my Be Right Back screen, and I'll be right back. Okay, all copied up and good to go. So let's fix this texture, I think, on this model piece. So we'll throw down an unwrap UVW and open our editor. Make sure we can see our texture in the background. And let's choose part of this texture for that square top piece. I think what we'll do, we'll select all of our UVs and we'll scale it down. I think I may use this middle piece here. I'm going to scale it non-uniformly here in the Y direction. And that should work for what we want. I just wanted a more interesting look to that small square piece at the top of the column. And leaving it the same way on the sides should work for us as well, I think. Yeah, no, that'll be fine. Okay, let's copy that piece over to the opposite side here. So again, just hold down the Shift key and Shift drag a copy. And let's top it off by putting another box underneath of it. So I'm just going to Shift drag a copy down. Make sure it's a copy, guys, not an instance. If you instance it when you make any changes to this one, it's going to start changing all of them. We're going to scale the model piece. Yeah, we can either scale it or we can go into UV mode, into Vertex mode. Let's no, we'll do a scale. We'll do a uniform scale to begin with. Just going to pull that over a bit and jump back into my unwrap UVW again. Again, this is one of Max's bugs. If you copy the UVs from another object, the window will open up really small on you. Let's see if they fix that in the new version. Bet they don't. And let's just change the texture, I think, on that a little bit. Let me pull out and have a look. I'm just debating whether I'll change the texture or not. I'm just going to jump back into my orthographic and have a look at that in orthographic view. Now what I want to do here is I do want to scale this, make sure I'm out of edit UV mode there. I want to scale it back a bit. I don't want it to be sitting too much, sticking out too far from the frame here at the bottom. I'm going to pull back and look at the column from a distance. That should actually work. We probably don't need to change the texture here. So I'm just going to again shift drag a copy over to the other side. Jump back into my orthographic. And I may add a bit more detailing up in there between these two top corner pieces here. Because we have our frame sitting along the outside, we have our two decorative square pieces up the top, and I may just add a bit more detailing in here. So Sniper OK says the list of bugs we're going to have to test and see if they're fixed in 2018. Yeah. Because, I mean, you know, as an artist, that's what you want to do, isn't it? You want to be testing the software you use to make sure it's not buggy. It's a great use of people's time. But hey, it's Autodesk, so it's not just Autodesk. All of the companies have the same problem. Sniper OK says he doesn't even use Macs, but he knows that there are several. Yeah, there are. There are problems. Like I said, I love Macs. I've been using Macs for a long, long time. I don't plan on using anything else in the near future, unless Autodesk decide they're going to stop making the program, which you never know. They've done it before. Remember soft image or soft image, whatever you want to, however you want to pronounce it. They did it with that software. They purchased the program and then they stopped making it, which was again something that annoyed a lot of people. So you never know what they're going to do with their software, but hopefully they won't kill Macs. I don't think they will. Too many studios use Macs. Too many ArchViz studios use Macs for them to kill it all. It's just that they have Macs, 3D Studio Max. They also have Maya, and they're both 3D programs. They both do a lot of the same sort of stuff. So from a company's point of view, they're developing the two different pieces of software that do the same thing. A lot of people have speculated that Autodesk at some stage will kill one of those two pieces of software, or either Max or Maya. They haven't so far, but like I said, you never know what they've got planned at Autodesk. They tend just to do things out of the blue without telling anyone, and then everybody else just has to live with the consequences. So let's hope they don't kill Max, because that would really annoy me. Not that all 3D software is great, like I've been telling you guys. There's no one that's better than the other. Sniper Echo says he believes the stream title that evening should be something like Phil does 3D, does Autodesk. Yeah, maybe. Like I said, you guys don't want to see me raging on stream, I'm sure. You don't want to be... I will be using Max 2018, that's a given, because so long as it doesn't crash my computer, then I always like to see what the changes are with the latest piece of software. So I will be using it. Whether it's buggy or not is another question, and if it's mega buggy, I'll just be using 2016 like you see me using now, because I'll always have 2016 installed. But I'll look at that when I get back from my holiday next week, as to how buggy it is and to how good it is, or not. Because like I said, I do have access to it through their subscription program. Let's just scale this up a bit. I'm still not sure about the texture we're using here. At this stage, I'm just getting the geometry sized correctly. My goal here is just to add more visual interest in the 3D geometry for this column. This is one of the main columns. It's sitting either side of the main stairwell in that fly-through. It's at the very top of each stairwell. So I want to make sure that this column has a bit more interest than it was, than the original, because the original was just a flat plane or a rectangle. Again, it was done that way initially because I was using UDK 6 years ago, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't use too many polygons or have too high quality textures for that engine. But we can afford, like I said, to go a bit more high poly now. We're not going to go nuts, but we're just going to make these things look a bit more interesting. And remember, I have softened up the edges of these boxes as well, so that they look a bit more realistic in the game engine when we do our cinematic. Going to deselect that for a minute. I want to check what these textures are like. Let's see if we can maybe change the texture out a bit. I'm going to open up my UV editor again, and again you see it's made it really small. This is one of Max's little quirks. Choose that texture. Let's see here. Select our UVs, and I'm going to scale them down, because again I want to better match the geometry piece that the UV map is corresponding to, and the geometry is a long rectangle, not a high rectangle. Let's see if there's part of this texture that might look a bit more interesting to use. And it's just a question of moving it around until we get it over a part of the texture we think will look good. I think that looks a bit more natural, a little bit better than this texture we're using here at the moment. Let's just deselect that and select this inner one. Open up my UV editor again, resize my dialog box again. Select our UVs, and again we're going to non-uniformly scale them so the UVs are more in line with the actual piece of geometry, which is long and not high. Let's see what this texture down here will look like. So I'm going to zoom in a bit here. We'll make it a little bit longer, a little bit shorter in the height. I'm going to scale it up just a bit. And again, I think that looks a bit more interesting for our texture map. Alright, so let's start copying that around the edges of this column now.